Hi, we join others. And I've been thinking about those others. I thought about it as I got dressed. My trousers, made in Italy, of fine wool from Australia. I bought these trousers in Rwanda because Kenya Airlines had left my baggage in Kenya. My shirt, made in Indonesia. My vest, made in China. And I thought these are some of the others who eventually will get to see and participate in this study just like you. So whilst I can't be with you in person, you are part of a study program that eventually will be available anywhere in the world. Our session for today is group work on feelings and grief, looking at our emotions. First of all, remind ourselves of our list, and it would be lovely if one or two of you could share how this list is helping me freely share and open my heart in this group. Step 2, insights on feelings. You're going to be helped by Josephine, who's on the left, and Munyeli, who's on the right, because you've already done the reading in the book from their stories. The point of this section is we all have feelings, but we just don't all feel them in the same way. So what are some of the feelings which Josephine and Munyeli describe? And then talk about what are my feelings today. Then in the third step we'll go back to the grief chart. We'll look down the left-hand side, the feelings at a time of grief and loss. Now these are feelings that we keep close to our heart, and we're often in danger of suppressing them. In fact, some of us pretend they're not there, and many of us say, oh, they're not that important. But they are important, and they are there for a reason. When I first saw this chart, I asked myself the question, so where is anger? I expected to find it down that left-hand side. And then eventually I found it down the bottom right-hand side. Now you see, anger is the tip of the iceberg of our feelings. It's the visible part. And it's called the second feeling because under anger there always lies another feeling. Now that's why it's important to recognise anger, but then to understand the feeling that lies behind the anger. So, anger is a feeling I need to listen to, and it is a signal that I might be ignoring an important emotional issue. Anger in that sense is good. It has a purpose. So I can use this anger appropriately. Feeling anger is okay. It can help me adapt and function well. But being angry is a different thing. Because if ignored anger builds up, then it can lead me to dysfunction, and that becomes destructive. So down the bottom right-hand side of the chart, you'll see the word expressing, and then you'll see 3 other words apart from anger: hatred, resentment, and hostility. Now, I call them the 3 vicious companions. And together with anger, they are like dragons waiting to unleash their violence. They are forms of abuse. And abuse can be physical, mental, and spiritual. Abuse is expressed in a variety of ways: subtle, overt, disguised. Now, people close to me experience my feelings at the top of the iceberg. They know when we're angry. They know when we're upset. So what might it be like for them if they experience that from us today or tomorrow? And what does my awareness of this now mean for me in terms of how I might behave? The next step is to go back and look at the trough, the bottom bit of the diagram, because this is where the energy sort of gathers or sits from the feelings of grief and loss. These are all normal responses, but I will cope best if I can bring my feelings out into the open and discuss them with a caring person, a mentor, a friend. If they are really heavy for me, then I may need to seek professional help with someone who is trained to help me. So here's the trough, and what we see here is that if we don't get relief on the right hand side, the energy will begin to circle around under the word blame there. This is what happens when I feel stuck in despair and I begin to feel worse. I start to blame myself. I feel responsible for that stuckness. I can even go into a cycle of being a victim. Now you'll notice below the trough is the word suicide. And a friend who is involved in psychology pointed out to me that word is really shorthand for suicidal thoughts. It's a normal human reaction that such thoughts would come when we're trapped down the bottom of the cycle. You know, I was stuck in this way for some days until a friend who was a psychologist came to ask me how I was. And after I'd cried and sobbed, then she said, "Can I suggest what may help you?" And that's when I began my journey with the men's group, which you read at the beginning of the prologue in the book. The 8th step today is an exercise to begin thinking about how do I move from a stormy moment in my own life of sadness and difficulty towards a more hopeful place. And you've got some questions there, and that will help you think through how you were feeling at that time. It will also help you think through what actually helped you overcome that time of darkness. That will lead to a closing reflection. What today has given me light or hope or energy? But also you may become aware from today, I have got feelings that I need to go and discuss soon with my support person. As you look at the date and the time for next session and you see the reading assignment, you'll also see the exercise you began in point 8 today. You have further work to finish that off. And that will be a very good practical reflection from your own experience. To close then, each person will say, what is it that's helped me today? And so we learn and we grow and we continue the journey.